Have you ever looked up at the sky and wondered if the balance between day and night could ever change? Imagine a world, not unlike our own, where this balance wasn't just a possibility, but a terrifying reality unfolding over generations. This is the story of a planet where the sun is slowly losing its race against the darkness. The first signs were small, easily dismissed things you wouldn't think twice about. A hunter, returning home, would find himself squinting in the gloom a little earlier than he remembered from the year before. A mother would call her children inside, lighting the hearth fire while the sky still held a whisper of twilight. The space between the sun's farewell and its return, once as predictable as a heartbeat, was widening. It was just by a breath, a fleeting moment, but it was there. This was the thickening dusk, a silent creep of shadow that began to seep into the edges of life. In the marketplaces, vendors started packing up their stalls sooner, their faces etched with a new, unspoken anxiety as the premature twilight descended. The world was holding its breath, unsure of what it was waiting for. As seasons turned into decades, what was once a subtle feeling became an undeniable truth. The night wasn't just arriving earlier, it was growing hungrier. In the grand libraries and quiet monasteries, scholars and priests, the keepers of time and knowledge, began to meticulously record the sun's retreat. They charted its path, measured its light, and logged its slow, agonizing surrender. Their journals filled with frantic calculations and worried observations. Heated debates echoed through their hallowed halls. Was the sun, their life-giving star, simply growing old and weary? Was it a dying ember in the vast, cold fireplace of the cosmos? Or was something more ancient and sinister at play? Old legends, once dismissed as folklore, were dusted off and reread with new urgency. Tales of a primordial night queen, a goddess of shadow who had been defeated at the beginning of time, resurfaced. Was she stirring from her long slumber, slowly reclaiming her lost throne, one stolen moment of daylight at a time? The mystery deepened, and fear began to take root. Centuries bled into one another, and the world transformed. The subtle shift had become a profound alteration of reality. Life adapted, as it always does, but at a cost. Architecture changed. The wide, welcoming windows of old were replaced by narrow slits, designed not to let light in, but to keep the ever-expanding darkness out. Entire cities became fortresses against the night. During the dwindling hours of sunlight, streets bustled with frantic activity, a desperate rush to get everything done before the inevitable gloom. But when night fell, a breathtaking transformation occurred. These cities didn't surrender to the dark, they fought back with light. Millions of lanterns, torches, and later, more advanced forms of illumination would flicker to life, turning the urban landscapes into jeweled islands of warmth and safety, floating in a vast, swelling sea of shadow. From a distance, they looked like captive constellations, beautiful but isolated, their glow a defiant roar against the encroaching emptiness. The long-term effects were reshaping civilization itself. Humanity began a slow, continuous migration, a generational pilgrimage chasing the light. Populations drifted towards the equator, where the days, though still shrinking, remained the longest. The old northern and southern kingdoms, once powerful and proud, were gradually abandoned, their stone cities swallowed by the perpetual twilight, becoming ghost-haunted relics of a brighter age. It was during this great migration that a new kind of scholar emerged, the astronomer. With powerful new lenses, they peered into the heavens, seeking not divine answers, but scientific ones. And they found something terrifying. It wasn't the sun that was failing, it was their own world. The planet itself was slowing down, its rotation gradually decelerating as if it were being pressed by a vast, unseen hand. The drag was infinitesimal, but over eons, its effect was absolute. Something immense and invisible was out there in the void, exerting its will upon their world, stealing their time, their light, their future. The enemy wasn't a dying star or a mythical queen. It was an inexorable, physical force, a cosmic predator whose motives and nature remained a chilling, soul-crushing mystery. The fight for the dawn had just begun. This story of a world losing its sun makes you think, doesn't it? About the delicate balances we often take for granted. What would we do if our own world started to change in such a fundamental way? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the twilight, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories that explore the vast what-ifs of the universe. Thanks for watching.